Hey everyone.
Hi guys.
Hey. It's Jess from Yogitriathlete, and I'm here with Goldyn Duffy, author of Quantum Speak. You guys, you can read this book in a day.
So fast.
But don't be fooled by the small amount of pages in here because this thing is power-packed. So Goldyn is my partner, co-founder in the M21 Revolution. She is a manifestation master. And she wrote this book to share all of the things that she has learned to create the life of her dreams. I mean, literally, you guys, the girl is legit. I know her inside and out. She's one of my greatest teachers. And there's a little blurb of support on the back from One Head Yogi, Yogi Triathlete. So we're going to do a little interview today. And thanks you guys for joining us. So my question is, how long did it take you to write this book?
Oh my gosh, it's so crazy because I've literally wanted to be an author my whole life. I mean, I have report cards of teachers saying I could see you being an author someday. So I've always had aspirations to write, but when it comes to writing, when it comes to putting your voice out into the world and your belief systems and information, you meet a ton of resistance. And there's a lot of healing work that needs to take place if you're going to put something out that really means something to you and that really creates the effect that I was interested in creating. So it actually started out that I was going to write a book with Jess. We were going to do a daily devotional for M21. We were going to put out all of our quotes, and we got started on that journey. And I just came up against a wall that was so intense. And Jess met me at that wall. She helped me take it down. But it wasn't about the M21 book. That was not meant to launch yet. So I had to put that book aside and feel the angst and the failure of that. I felt like a failure.
We had to mourn the loss of it.
We did, and it was intense for me. I had to work through a lot of things and to understand the resistances that I had around really putting my voice out in the world and really saying that this is what I believe and this is what works for me. And to feel authentically connected to that. I think that's who I am. You know, if I can't live my life authentically, then I don't want to live.
Right. And that's the kind of person whose book you want to read. Absolutely. I can tell you that she's doing the work.
Absolutely. And I feel like my life is an open book now because I shared so much of our story and the struggles. And one of my things with this book was that I didn't want people to think that we moved from Connecticut, the place of our birth, the only place we've ever known, and hopped over to California and just created this joy and happiness and abundance like that. I didn't want people to think that. I wanted them to know the nitty-gritty of manifesting and working through your fears and really taking a challenge and overcoming over and over again. And having failure just not be an option, you know, just not going back, not looking behind you and just moving forward. So to give people that hope and strength.
And what it really looks like, you guys, when you have no plan B, when the heart's calling is
burn the boats,
is so loud you can't ignore it anymore. And you decide, and that's such a word that you use all the time, you decide that you're going all in. And that's what we get to see I love how you said that, like the nitty gritty of manifesting.
Yeah.
Because it will bring you to your knees most often.
Yeah.
So how long, once you sat down, did it take you to write?
So once I got through all this stuff with Jess and realized that I really wanted to step into the identity of an author. And I really wanted to be this writer. And I mean, I've had a parenting book in my computer for 5 years that my husband has been like, when are you going to finish this? That book was probably never meant to launch because I've already written a new one. So I sat down and in 1 week's time, I wrote this book. It literally flooded out of me. And I decided that I was going to spend every single day writing until it was complete. And that's exactly what I did. And I would say we probably started September, and the book launched.
I think it was even later than that.
Yeah, it might have been
you and I started the journey of writing a book together probably in September. Right. And then we realized that it wasn't going to happen late October-ish.
Yeah, so it was November.
Yeah.
November I started it, and then by the time we got all of the final edits done, I mean, it literally took me 7 days to write it. And then through all the final edits and just adding manifestation stories and pictures, it just came out about a month ago. So.
What's the favorite story so it's not only like a tool book, you guys, but she also shares her own stories in it. What's your favorite
there's science,
story?
There's spirituality, there's stories. My favorite manifestation story, God, there's so many. I think it's the little ones, as little as they may seem, that happened when we were really up against it. When we had no money in our bank accounts, and to be able to put forth joy and feel like our lives were unfolding in this perfection of a strong faith it's probably, I don't want to say it was my favorite time in my life because it was terrifying and I don't ever want to go back there. But honestly, it's what has made us who we are today, and has created the credibility, I think, for us to speak to this experience and what actually works in the manifestational world.
Yeah, it's quite amazing. It's so power packed in here. And so what's next? This is out there. And I know you're already working on other things. You've alluded to the parenting book.
Yeah, I feel like the writer bug has bit me because I just want to write every day. And I feel like if I don't write, then I didn't get my work done for the day. So I'm working on Quantum Speak for Parents. I've actually started Quantum Speak for Couples, which I'm going to be writing with my husband.
Nice.
Which was kind of fun the other day. I just wrote our story, like how we first met, and just got all those feelings, like all the feels of what it was like to fall in love with him and what young love really is, like to let parents know what young love is and what their teenagers are facing and what kind of connections we can have even at a really young age. So I just started writing the couples one, which I don't know which one will get done first. The parenting one actually is almost done.
I think the parenting one is so incredibly important right now as kids are, we're seeing the highest rates of teen suicide and children who are being medicated for, personality type stuff and depression and anxiety is hitting kids really, really young. So I think bringing this perspective to our future, literally, is so incredibly important right now. So one last question. Well, not one last question because we're going to find out how we can buy the book. What is Quantum Speak?
Okay. So Quantum Speak is, the name came to me because I was recognizing that we're logical. We have very logical minds. We've been brought up to really rely on our minds. And what Quantum Speak is it's taking the science of manifesting, but it's also bringing in your own spiritual connection to manifesting to make it this beautiful bridge between who we are and who we can actually become. So it's identity creation. That's what it is. And it's deciding who you want to be and what you would be doing in order to activate that experience in your life and tune into that frequency. So it's a lot of science, but I think I made it simple.
You made it very simple. Yeah. I in my blurb on the back, what did I say? I said, it's the everyman's guide to mastering this game of life. And when that sentence came to me and I wrote it, I thought, gosh, I hope I'm not simplifying the profoundness that's in here, because it's not that I guess what I'm saying is that the point I want to get across is that the most simple things in spiritual practice are the most profound. And that's how I see this book.
Well, and we're all overcomplicating things.
Yeah, we're all overcomplicating things.
So we're dominant now.
100%. So how can people buy the book? Where can they get it? Can they get a signed copy like I did?
Well, on Amazon. It is on Amazon to order. You get it super fast when you go through Amazon. If you do it through me, if you would like a personalized message, which honestly, you better get it now because I don't know how long I'm going to be able to keep personalizing these books as I'm doing, so many a day. You can go to my website, www.goldynduffy.com, and just click on Quantum Speak, and the link is there for both, for Amazon and for a signed copy.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Awesome, you guys. Thanks so much for joining us. And if you have any more questions for Goldyn, we'll be monitoring comments and things like that. So post them in this video. And thanks for tuning in.
Thanks.
Peace.